everybody, and welcome back to Aranthea's Awakening, a D&D 5e live stream. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Arch. With me today, I have, as always, Kyle.
Hi, I am the Ant-Man today. I am playing... Who the fuck am I playing? I am playing Eli, the elf wizard.
Who the fuck am I playing, indeed?
Listen, I've got a lot going on.
Oh, of course. And to the right of that, Neil. How you doing, Neil?
Hi, I'm Neil. I play Isla. He's small.
Indeed. And to the right of that, the unmoving image of a Dragonborn.
Yep, that's me. I'm a Dragonborn. Yeah, I play Zai, a Dragonborn fighter. Rune Guard now. I'm excited for that to happen.
Oh, no. That's not official yet. You're still a fighter.
Right.
You're boring.
But I'm level 3, so I'm technically that. It just hasn't happened yet.
No.
Okay, a fighter, and hopefully I'll find out what's in this box at some point in my life.
Maybe. Who knows?
There you have to.
Maybe you have to go to sleep or something like that. Who knows? Weird. Anyways. So, let me get my music of recapping going. And by that I mean I'm going to play the music for Taka, which is currently the place that you guys are in.
Yeah, this place sucks.
It's not that bad.
I feel like it has gotten really bad lately.
Maybe
Kyle's racist against hobbits.
Yep. So, last time, the party had gathered together in the small town of Taka in order to investigate the disappearance of several villagers that had been reported. The mayor had sent for aid from the guild because he was starting to have issues. You had followed a few leads and found your way to the home of one Marcus and Garrett, and had been searching around. There was a knock at the door, to which you found a doctor standing in the doorway who presented himself as Dr. Stillwater, saying that he was checking in on Garrett for a weekly treatment for Garrett's ailment. You guys had a brief discussion wherein you decided that you inherently don't trust him. You took some of the herbs that were supposedly for treating Garrett's ailments and decided to go back to the inn where you had gotten rooms and burn this herb in the windowsill and see if perhaps it would lure something, if maybe that was what baited the kidnapping. Sure enough, during the night, there was a break-in into your room in which a strange-looking amalgamation creature of different animals and people mixed together tried to essentially kidnap Ilo, who was just sleeping on the bed, and then thump. You guys pursued this creature out of the tavern into the windswept snow, were able to defeat the creature, bury it, and in the morning show the mayor the creature's body. You guys again spoke to the doctor who was passing by on his way to deal with another patient. Zai feigned having some fatigue issues and basically baited a way to go to the doctor's office. You all went to the doctor's office, did some investigating while Zai kept watch. The doctor came back earlier than expected, and a bit of hilarity ensued in which Zai made a fool of himself in order to let you all make your getaway out of the office.
I am the ultimate Southern Belle. Let me fall off my feet.
Oh, yes, of course. You all then went into the office with the doc seeming none the wiser. The doc left you guys in the exam room to supposedly go check on something real quick before treating Zai. You heard a secret door seemingly open and close. And you guys just waited. And the doctor ended up coming back as a peculiar-looking humanoid tiger creature who immediately attacked and bit both Eli and Zai to unknown results. It seems that there were some con saves made with those bites. After the attack was done, you took the pins that you had taken from the dead snake halfling amalgamation creature and stabbed them into Zai's body around the bite mark, supposedly to block whatever it may be that was bothering you. You then checked out this supposed secret room, found it to be a strange underground laboratory of sorts, and found that in the back corner of the room there was a pit filled with blood and rotting flesh. Now, before we begin, I want to mention, because of our friend Dylan, who's in the chat, donating a absurd amount of money so that I could go to PAX Unplugged, I am giving all three of you, as part of that, a D12.
Ooh.
So all three of you have a Bard Extreme die of a D12.
Nice.
And you have Dylan to thank for that.
Thank you.
So, we begin. Last time you guys were in this laboratory,
Boy.
you had looked in the first cell that was on the right. There were 3 cells in total. You found that there were dried blood marks inside the cell. There was a shelf on the left that seemed to contain several vials and bottles of strange liquids, as well as a few books. There was a work desk and table towards the back of the room where there appeared to be various alchemical and otherwise unknown objects and tools. And Eli had used dancing lights and sent it down this pit in the back left corner, where I believe it was Zai was looking down into what appeared to be a pit filled with blood, the occasional bone, and bits of flesh.
Yeah. Yep, that's what happened.
I don't think he's a very good doctor if his patients end up like this.
As soon as Eli sees the lights hit the bottom and he sees he just and he goes away for a minute to throw up.
Nice. There's a
just
puddle of vomit in a corner of the room now.
You okay there, Teach?
Oh, got it. Oh, that's absolutely disgusting. Oh, why would someone do such a thing? Oh.
You stole what I was going to do, so D8 for everyone instead.
Okay. Thank you, Undead, for the $9 donation. D8s for everybody, then.
All the dice.
Yes.
Well, then.
And he kind of he's not coming back over to the hole. He's just kind of hand over his mouth. Just,
So is this hole just a soup of body parts, or is there actual bodies down there that I can see?
Make either perception or investigation. The answer will be different depending what you do.
I will perception then.
Okay.
For that's advantage.
Cheating.
Oh.
Cheating.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fine. That's what it would have been anyway.
Yep, 16 is the first one. All right. Looking into the pit, it appears to be mostly a slop of just rotted, decrepit flesh. You can see that there are bits of patches of hair just kind of floating and bobbing about. You do see what appears to be a portion of a limb that's partially emerged. Beyond that, though, it looks like this is mostly slop. When I say a portion of the arm, it's from it's like a hand almost kind of halfway out sort of thing, kind of like this.
Okay, body soup.
Ugh.
Whether or not there's a body attached to that arm is TBD, but
How far down was this hole again?
pretty deep. The slop itself is about 30 feet down.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, not happening.
No way.
I'm gonna go investigate the other 2 cells.
Excuse me. Eli is gonna go back upstairs and check out the doctor's body.
Sure.
And like he's gonna loot that body.
All right. We will go with Eli first then, and then we'll go back to Ionex. What is Ilo doing in the meantime?
Not a lot. I don't have anything really that I feel like I needed to do.
Okay. Eli, so you go back upstairs. You find the doctor's body where you left it in the exam room. He's still wearing his white lab coat. However, it's torn and shredded from the increase in size.
Right.
He is back to his human appearance.
Yeah, I'm gonna rummage through his pockets and see if there's anything of note. Was this you want an investigation check?
For something like this now, because honestly, I think it's a bit silly on occasion to need investigation. If it's a creature, yes. Human, you know what pockets are.
Right. Yeah.
At least that's what I'm saying in the moment.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
So, you rummaging through the doctor's pockets, you find a small pouch that contains roughly 4 gold and 3 silver and 12 copper. So 4, 3, 12.
Okay.
You also find what appears to be another small bag containing another 3 bundles of the peculiar herb.
I'm sorry, say that again.
You find a small bag containing 3 bundles of the herb.
Oh, okay, cool.
The medicinal herb that you guys had previously found.
Right.
You also find 1 small vial of a strange reddish liquid.
Okay, cool. Is there like an Arcana check that I could do to see if I knew what this was?
The potion?
Yeah.
You don't have to make a check or anything. You can basically just taste it.
Okay. Yeah, he'll like.
Yeah, just like little pinky, just kind of.
Yeah.
As far as you understand it, it is a standard run-of-the-mill healing potion.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
Take 10d10 damage and are now poisoned.
Fuck.
From 1 drop.
It is worth
but nothing
mentioning,
really.
And I don't believe I mentioned it before. During your investigation of the doctor, rummaging through the pockets and everything, you do see a needle mark where it looks like he was.
Yeah, I think you did mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned the syringe with the drop of blood on it as well.
Yes, which is in the lab by the desk.
Okay, yeah. That's the one. Yeah. Okay, cool. But nothing. There's not like any. Like we're not gonna find. I don't find like a key or notes or anything like out of the norm.
No, not currently.
Okay, then he'll head back downstairs.
Okay. You walk back down. You're checking out the cells?
Yeah.
Alright, are you looking in the first one, second one, third one? Going
Well,
in
I've
order?
looked in 1.
You looked
so
in the
let's
first
go in-
one.
Let's look in the second one next then.
The second one appears to be similar in design. There are manacles and chains that are up against the wall. There are spatters of dried blood. There are also a few spatters of what appears to be fresh blood.
Okay, if it's empty, I'm just going to move on to the next one.
Alright. You move on to the next one. Eli, you're just walking into the room as this is happening, because it doesn't take that long to just kind of ruffle through the pockets.
Okay.
And you enter into the room. Zai, you are looking in the 3rd cell. The 3rd cell is a bit more peculiar. There is the manacle and chain set up on the wall. However, instead of it being the back wall, it seems to be on the right side. What's stranger than that, though, is that in this room, or in this cell, there appears to be small bits and pieces of, like, rotted, dry clumps of flesh and hair. There are what appear to be some bones and even a skull or two that are kind of pushed into the corners. And the strangest thing is that in the center of the cell appears to be engraved, like dug deep into the stone flooring, a circle of strange runes in a pattern that seems very peculiar. And as you're actually staring into the cell, the runes begin to glow a dull blue. And the light actually does shine out just enough so that you other two in the room see the light beginning to glow from the circle, like as a dull light coming.
Okay. Arch, am I allowed to use my rune script thing yet?
No.
Okay.
Seeing the light.
But I didn't know if I could use it to identify runic crap.
Not yet.
Okay.
Seeing the light, Eli will kind of cock his head. Zai, what do you see over there? What's that light?
Well,
and he'll start to make his way over there.
Looks kind of magical to me. I think that's more your expertise, though.
Oh, yes.
It's glowing, spinning a little bit. Just little symbols.
Ilo, what are you doing?
Oh, it's in a circle.
Probably next to him, looking at the runes.
Okay.
Kind of pretty, though, isn't it, Ilo?
Kinda.
Ilo and Eli make Arcana checks. Zai, you currently would not know.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Ilo, you're not really sure. You've not really heard any stories or tales from Callie about anything of the sort like this.
Mm-hmm.
Eli, you immediately recognize that as a teleportation circle. And pretty much spot on as you're like, that is a teleportation circle. There is a...
Oh no.
And a small puff of smoke, and standing in the middle of this circle...
Oh dear.
You see, standing before you, a tall, powerfully built man. Dark tanned skin stretching across well-toned muscles. Bald head with a circlet of gold embedded with jewels of rubies, sapphires, and emeralds splayed across it. He sports a thick, well-trimmed beard, which rests below a grinning, feral mouth of razor-sharp teeth. Deep brown eyes glared down at all of you through the bars, with a curious gaze as he seems to take you all in. Adorning his body is a regal-looking tan robe with gold embroidery and a gold sash around the waist to match. He bears no weapons, but appears to carry himself as someone who is more than capable of taking care of himself, and currently seems quite at ease. He looks at the three of you, and then you hear kind of like a deep rumble in his chest, and he goes, so you are the reason I find myself without a meal. I take it the doctor is dead then, yes? Or perhaps otherwise indisposed.
Is the cell door open or closed?
It looks closed.
Okay.
Couldn't be helped. He kind of started it. You know how it goes. Pleasure to meet you, by the way.
Indeed. And I'm curious. Who are you who stands in the lab of my ally, shall we say?
Well, you have to understand that if the doctor up there was your ally, then don't really know if I would just want to be carelessly giving out my name like that.
Of course, I understand.
Is there some sort of check that I can perform to see if I know what he is?
Make a investigation check.
Roll 20. You doing me right.
Wow. Okay. So as he's talking, Eli, you kind of give him a really close, like, squinting look. And you notice that there are some things that seem kind of off about this guy. Like, his body doesn't seem to reflect the light the same way. There are, like, little nuances that you kind of pick up, and you're like, I've been around magic long enough to know when that's an illusion, and that's an illusion, sir.
Ooh. Okay, so does it look like the entire image is an illusion, or like it? Like, I'm trying to find if does it seem like there's actually somebody there casting an illusion on themselves, or is the entire
Make an Arcana check.
I can do that. 23.
You recognize this as being that of most likely a disguised self.
Okay. So isn't it like once you realize it's an illusion, the illusion is gone?
In this case, no. Disguised self remains. You just know that it's fake.
Okay.
If it was something like minor illusion or silent image, then you'd be correct.
Okay, cool. Eli is gonna stay quiet for a moment. He wants to see how this plays out before he says anything.
Perhaps it is best I introduce myself then, and perhaps we can get to know each other then. I am rather curious how one such as yourself will able to come about finding this lab, dealing with the doctor, as it were. I am Marpash. It is a pleasure to meet you, strange
I want an insight.
Yeah.
Insight the name?
Just see if he's been... Yeah. Just general truthfulness of what he's saying.
Go for
it. 3!
He carries himself quite well. It seems like he is very confident in himself. You don't notice anything off course.
Marpash, was that? Now, if I were to ask, how would you spell that?
Marpash.
Marpash.
Can I roll a history to see if I've heard that before?
Go for it.
17.
You actually recognize the name. More passing than anything. You recall Callie telling you tales of Uthdir, of the Sutherlands, of the very, very small amount of time that she had spent in Sutherland, saying that she wasn't a fan of their beliefs, of the way that they behaved. But she did at one point mention in one of her stories a rather powerful crime syndicate lord who went by the name of Marpash.
And that's in the you said the Freelands or the Sutherlands? Sutherlands, okay.
In the capital city of Uthdir.
Gotcha. You're a long way from Uthdir.
Ah, you recognize my name. That is good that at least some know my name. And rightfully they should, and they should rightfully fear it.
Well, I, for one, never heard of it. Who is this guy, Ilo?
He's a crime boss guy.
Is that why you are hiding your true self? I think you can drop the disguise. And as he says that, he kind of like raises his cane and points at the guy.
Poke him with your cane.
I don't think that's a wise idea.
So you can see through this, can you? That is interesting. Perhaps you are...
Well, I can't see through it, but I recognize magic when I see it.
Of course. I imagine you are one of the learned types. Spellcaster, no doubt.
He just nods. You are correct, sir.
Indeed. If I reveal myself to you, perhaps we can speak on even terms then. I would like to know your name still.
Of course, it would be rude for me not to introduce myself after that grand introduction. Name's Zai. Pleasure to meet you.
Zai.
And I am Elwyn Silvermane.
Ah, you are a Silvermane, are you? It has been some time since I have heard that name.
I'm sorry. How do you know that name?
That is something I will keep to myself. You understand, we're still only getting to know each other. And what about you, small one?
Hi, Milo.
Milo, you are not quite like your kin, it would seem. Very
Been around a
interesting.
lot longer than most of them.
Well, since you have introduced yourselves, let me properly introduce myself. And you watch as his form begins to ripple and warp. And standing before you, you instead see, very similar to how you saw the doctor come in as a large humanoid tiger creature, he appears very similar. His fur is a darker orange, almost brown, with black stripes. Very large rippling muscles, especially in the chest and arms. Backward, that kind of like peculiar cat legs and everything. Tail that kind of swishes back and forth. Very large tiger head with large, massive fangs coming out. And the one thing that stands out that seems very peculiar is that as opposed to the normal claws that the doctor had, this guy, his palms are reversed. His thumbs are upside down on the wrong hands. His palms are like where the back of his hands should be. And he takes the one claw, kind of puts it over his chest, and bows slightly to you and says, I am Marapash. I am a Rakshasa.
Oh.
Pleasure to meet you, new friends.
Now, I had to say I'd never heard of one of those. What exactly is one of these Rakshasa things?
Rakshasas.
Make an Arcana check, Eli. Do not assume.
I will. I'm gonna stream. I'll use a stream dice.
Okay, which one are you using?
Let's use that good D12.
Okay. Kyle is burning the D12.
Yeah.
Got
I
it.
want to know 9. So I'll put me at a
21. Okay, you, in a spurt of inspiration, recall in your studies reading about extraplanar creatures, of demons, of fiends. And you distinctly recall reading about Rakshasa, who are creatures from a hellish plane. They didn't originate there per se, but they seem to have made their home there. Generally speaking, Rakshasa are very ravenous creatures that will travel to the prime plane that you are on in order to feed on humans, on humanoids, we'll say. Generally, that's not their only go, though. Rakshasas are very prideful in that they like to be able to run things behind the scenes. They like to know that they're in power, even if others aren't aware. Generally speaking, they are very manipulative, very deceptive, but also of a more personal code sort.
Right. Oh boy. Zai, there's many things I could tell you about Raksasha, but...
Yeah. Let's let him talk about himself for a little bit. We don't want to just assume things about him.
Alright. All you need to know is that they're very magical, and they're very powerful. And... oh boy. So I take it that you are part of the reason that the townsfolk here have been disappearing.
Not quite. You are correct in that some of the townsfolk that have gone missing have been to feed me.
You ate people?
I beg your pardon?
You ate people?
I do.
Interesting diet you got there.
Depending on the type of creature, it is a different kind of treat, depending on who I feast on. I must admit, I have not had a dragonborn or a kobold in a very long time.
Well, all the same to you, I think I prefer to keep all my pieces outside of your stomach.
Of course, we are simply talking right now.
If you are hungry, though, we do have a body that's only been recently deceased.
Indeed. I imagine you do, one doctor. However, I am not interested in consuming that corpse. And you see him kind of look past you guys towards where the table is. And then he looks back at you and just kind of... I imagine recent events probably made it where I would not want to consume his corpse anymore.
Yeah, seems like he had a needle, pumped himself full of something.
Indeed. I imagine he may have jumped the gun on his research a bit.
Kind of looked a little bit like you, the major differences.
Then perhaps he was onto something and just didn't have the time to finish. It's a shame, really. That was part of our agreement, but that is on him for getting caught. Now, I'm curious. What is it that you are doing here? What's brought you to take down this would-be evildoer?
Just the job. Have to pay bills, you know.
You were hired for this.
Well,
somebody didn't like their townsfolk disappearing.
Yeah, if all the people I knew in my town started just disappearing, I would probably hire someone as well.
Ah, it was the mayor then.
That's a very big jump in logic, but yes.
I mean, according to your own words, if my townspeople were disappearing...
Look, it can be my town without me just owning the town.
Roll a deception.
Why? It's like, I don't really care, but I'm not convincing him it's not the mayor. I said, yes, it is.
I'm not sure what you thought was going to happen. Taka is a smaller town. This was bound to happen eventually. You should have chosen a much bigger city if you wanted to be undisturbed.
He looks at Yuzai and he gives you like a grin.
Like the dwarf city.
Indeed. But that is why I am not stationed here in Taka, and I am instead stationed in the Sutherlands, as your friend here seems to recall. Indeed, I could have picked a bigger city to get my bodies, but that was not the point. The point was I made a deal, and we Rakshasas are very well known for keeping our ends of the bargains. As you experienced firsthand, I imagine.
Well, the way that I see it now, the person that you had this deal with is no longer here, and of the living, So, the way I see it, your business here should be concluded.
And
you can carry
indeed,
on elsewhere.
You are correct. I am just curious to see the people who were able to take down my collaborator. The one who kept me fed, shall we say.
He just kind of slowly turns at Ilo and Zai.
Why was he doing things for you?
Because it is easier for me to have others get the bodies as opposed to dirtying my hands on my own. And he kind of like looks at his hands and like kind of picks at a claw.
Oh, so you just blackmail?
Oh yeah,
Blackmail
that
him?
makes sense, but what was in it for him?
What was he getting?
You saw for yourself what he got from me.
The tiger thing that he had going on?
Power. A form of power.
I see you did not do your own looking into on the doctor's research then. I mentioned you've only
not
just
yet.
recently got into this lab.
Oh, you are correct. He sort of surprised us with his transformation.
Indeed. Well, let me help you then. And you see him lift a hand and just kind of, like, ever so slightly twitch an index finger. And you watch Eli, a very familiar spell to you, a mage hand, appear across the room. And it just kind of floats over to a bookshelf, grabs a specific book, pulls it off, and floats over to you guys holding the book.
Eli uses his own mage hand to grab the book.
You grab the book and take a look, and the Marpasha is just kind of standing there observing you. It almost feels like he's like looking into your soul at this point, just staring intently at you. Deep yellow eyes just glaring.
Like as I'm like thumbing through the book, he's just staring. Like I kind of glance up and he's just staring into my soul.
Pretty much.
Oh God.
Make a investigation check.
All right.
Okay, and then make a Arcana check as well, please.
Okay.
Okay. You quickly thumbing through this leather-bound... It's a journal, as you can obviously tell now, looking through it. Seems to detail and note research that the doctor has done. You recognize the handwriting from the notes upstairs that you had seen previously. Your base understanding, you'd have to do more digging and looking into, is it seems that the doctor was experimenting with alchemy and a strange form of necromancy, almost not necromancy, wherein, rather I should say, it's a mixture of necromancy and transmutation, where it seems like he is essentially taking the essence and the better parts of other creatures in order to augment and enhance a person.
Right.
Which lines up with the creature that you had fought the night before.
Right.
There is a little bit of writing on using blood and DNA or essence of magical creatures and the potential applications of that. The potential side effects that they might have, and the potential bonuses and benefits.
Okay.
Which also lines up, being that, putting two and two together, if the last creature was mostly just made up of regular creatures and the user was just a magic user, it's not that big of a deal and it seemed much easier. As compared with the doctor's transformation seems to have derived itself from this magic creature standing in front of you.
Right. Okay.
And as you're flipping through, he's just staring at you, and then he kind of gives a look towards Zai and then raises an eyebrow. Ah. That is interesting. I'm rather curious, actually, now. Eli,
what?
Elwin was your name, yes?
He just glances, like, he's like looking at the book and just kind of, his eyes just kind of look up. Like his head doesn't move, it's just you just see his eyes raise up with like almost like a glare.
I'm curious, does the doctor have any details in his notes on transmission?
I have not seen any yet, but I plan on reading this book from cover to cover.
Interesting. And he looks back to you,
he grabs his shoulder after saying that.
Yeah, just mean I don't need these stupid things.
At first glance, I would say no. It would appear that lycanthropy was not involved.
I take them out.
But I'm not 100% sure.
I take them out.
My best guess would be that he was using essence from this creature here. But I cannot confirm 100% yet.
Marpash looks at both of you, and he watches you as you start pulling out the black pins, and he goes, you are using the black pins to stop if any transmission were to happen. That is interesting as well. Very clever. Are you sure that is wise to be taking it out right now, though?
Well, there's nothing about transmission. May as well.
I just haven't seen it yet.
And anyway, it's too late now.
Oh, boy.
So you pull all of these pins out, and he looks at you.
Eli, like, lowers the book and stares at Zai.
And he kind of just gives you an interesting look. Just kind of one of very piqued interest. And he goes, that is an interesting take on it. Perhaps you and I will be kin of sorts then. But perhaps not if the transmission is not something that occurs.
Well, who knows? I don't know if I really want to be your kin. I mean, I like you. I just don't trust you at all.
Indeed. Well, I am rather short on time. I have business to attend to elsewhere, but we will be seeing each other again, I imagine. If you do end up becoming different, Zai, come and find me. We can perhaps make a deal. You know.
Oh my god, we're gonna be neighbors to this motherfucker.
Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that any deals I make with you would end up being heavily weighed in your favor.
I would never do any sort of deals that were so crude. Any deals that I make, you can be sure both sides benefit. And that is a Marpash guarantee. And you watch as, seemingly from thin air, this black seam seems to rip open above and below him, kind of a... And a black screen seems to appear behind him, move forward, and envelop him, and shuts in front of him like a door.
And then I want to take my glaive and scratch a mark through the teleportation circle.
Make a strength check.
7.
You take the blade and you start running it through the stone and leave maybe a half-inch gouge through some of the runes.
Hey.
Like when that happened, it gets a moment too late. Once he realizes what's happening, Eli puts out a hand. Wait, how do you? And then the guy's gone. And he's just kind of left standing there with his arm out, I don't understand. How does he know my family's name? There was only 4 of us with that name. Hey,
Hey,
no matter, no matter.
I'm sure you'll figure it out. It'll be fine. And I pat Eli on the shoulder.
Well, it couldn't be my mother. She should be long dead now. My sister is the only other one. Or it could be. I mean, it could be my father, but he would be so old. And I haven't seen him since I was a young child. I just pray that it isn't my sister that he's referring to.
I want to go look at the bookshelf.
Sure.
There's pretty liquids on it.
There is.
Oh, yeah.
There are several shelves of books and a few unknown potions. You see 3 small vials containing a reddish liquid, a semi-large vial also containing a reddish liquid, and a small vial with a strange, thick black liquid.
I want to taste them all, starting with the black one.
The black one, you taste it, and it seems to be like some sort of thick grease.
Yeah, this one's not super great.
Well, actually, because you do get the details of a potion when you test it out. You recognize that to be a phial of grease. It can be thrown up to 20 feet away, and it acts as if the grease spell was cast, which lasts for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to be doing that?
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I mean, what if it's a poison?
As I taste the next one.
Which one are you tasting?
Medium vial.
Okay, you taste it, and it seems like it is a, stronger healing potion.
Ooh. Nice.
Okay. And I'll taste the little one.
Little ones are regular healing potions.
Nice.
Okay.
Eli's going to take that book and put it into his bag.
Okay, put in your inventory that you have 1 research journal of Dr. Colin Stillwater.
You know, after that little parting conversation we had there, are you sure that there's nothing in that book about transmission?
Not at first glance, but I plan on spending whatever free moments I have. Like I said, I'm going to read this book from cover to cover.
Okay, because I'm still, real hurt, and I would really appreciate being able to recover.
I completely understand. I will let you know what I find once I'm done.
His eye's actually still bloody.
Yeah, I have 2 more Cure Wounds that I can cast. Because I think I used 2 Persephone spells.
It's fine if we're still in,
you?
short rest territory.
I did, and then I was going to use the other 2, but because I used one on...
Hey.
Yeah, and then the other one on Zai, and it didn't have effect, so I didn't do it again.
If we haven't done anything strenuous or stressful in the past hour, does that just count as a short rest, or do we have to specifically say short rest?
You'd have to say that you're taking a rest.
Okay.
Because currently you guys have not been resting. It was maybe
Yeah, it was not very long.
It was maybe 30 minutes ago that you were just fighting the doctor.
So I gives you 14 hit points.
That is
God.
1 overheal.
Okay. It should be noted that Ilo is pretty low too.
Indeed.
You're welcome.
Zai, you feel the healing magic seem to course through you. Your wounds close up.
Well, thank you very much, Isla.
No worries.
I just kind of roll my shoulder now that I can.
Feels good not having pins stuck into it.
Yeah.
Is Ilo the only one that's hurt now?
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
because Eli threw himself out of a window.
Yeah, because I almost died in one hit. I think we should go tell the mayor of our findings here. Let him take care of the rest. I think we have succeeded in our mission. I think the town is somewhat safe.
I want to take one last look around this basement, see if we missed anything.
Sure.
That is
Investigation.
That is a good idea.
Can I look and see what was keeping the cat thing in its cage?
Sure. Make an investigation.
Just try to determine if it could have gotten out or if the doctor was keeping it in there for a reason.
It was super magic and had the ability to cast magic outside the cage. Pretty sure it could have done whatever it wanted.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it could get out of
Yeah.
the cage, but like I just am curious as to why it chose to be in a cage. 15.
Okay. Zion and Eli, looking around in checking out this room, there doesn't appear to be... Sorry, let me rephrase that. Zai, you don't see anything that seems to be out of the ordinary. It seems like you guys have pretty much picked this place apart, besides there being the alchemical tools and whatnot that are scattered about, and the peculiar instruments and the syringe and whatnot. Eli, you're looking around as well, and you find that there is a lever that seems to have been nestled behind some of the alchemical tools that's on the table.
Oh boy. Gentlemen, come here. I found a lever back here.
As he points it out, do I see it?
Now you see it, yes. That being said,
Bullet.
before that, Ilo, you check out the cell and the door and everything that was where Marpash was. The gate was unlocked. The door could have been opened at any time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And based on your understanding of how that creature was behaving, if it wanted to get out at any point, it probably could have.
Yeah, Ilo just like mage hand pushes the door open and then just walks over to.
Oh
So
boy.
it's clear that Ilo didn't do anything to open that door.
Okay. Zai, you go over and are like, I'm gonna pull it, and you pull the lever. And you hear the sound of grating stone. You hear what sounds like some gears and pulleys that are going on somewhere behind the wall. And between this back table and the back right cell, you see a portion of this stone wall seem to slide back and then move to the side. And immediately you're hit with a gust of cold air that seems to just come flying through this doorway.
Good find, Eli.
Goodness, that's cold. And it's like just going like it's just like outside now.
Well, you going through it?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going.
yeah. Well, we gotta see what's over there.
Ilo, you're tagging along?
Yeah.
Alright. So the three of you look through this doorway, and it seems to be a long tunnel that goes further and further into darkness. But you can feel the gust of wind coming through. And following along, it seems to go for a couple 100 feet of just pitch black darkness and cold air. Eventually, you find yourselves at the end of this seeming tunnel. And above you, you can see that there are metal rungs that are stuck into the stone that go up for about 15-20 feet into a tunnel that seems to go upward. And for those of you with dark vision, since torchlight doesn't seem to reach, up above you can see there appears to be some sort of lid or something like that that can be lifted up.
Does torch not go 60 feet? Thought it was 30 bright and then 30 dim.
Was it? I thought it was like 15-15 or something like that.
Okay, I don't care. I'll find out shortly anyway, whatever this is.
Yeah. In either case, that is what you see.
Sai, why don't you go first? You're much stronger. Whatever is at the top, looks like it's covering something.
Sounds good to me. And I'll start climbing.
All right, you climb up to the top and make a strength check for me.
8.
Wow. Oh, Undead says it's 2020 for the torch.
Okay. We were both wrong.
You start pushing and trying to lift, and you get it to kind of move up like a few inches before you kind of have to come back down, your muscles feeling sore.
Okay. Knowing that it moves, though, can I climb up a couple more things, kind of scrunching myself up, and then use my legs to lift it instead of just trying to push it?
Sure. Make another strength check.
20!
Yeah, this time applying physics and your brain to your brawn, you are able to successfully lift up what now seems to have been a decent-sized boulder up off of this hole. Poking your head out of this hole, you can see that you're on the north side of the town, just outside of the town's limits. Even just looking around, you can see that the town's like right over there. It seems like this is just one boulder that was placed over this cover hole.
Well, that checks out. Everything seems to be falling together and making much more sense now. Well,
It's
I think
worth.
this is how
It's
our
worth.
friendly neighborhood monster got out.
Sorry, it's worth noting that the boulder was not sitting perfectly on top of the hole, which is why the breeze was there. It wasn't like a perfect
Right.
fucking like flat surface.
all right.
I don't want people being like, "That's not how that works."
Well, I think we should go alert the mayor of our findings. Well, shall we, gentlemen? And after that, we should probably rest up, recuperate, and, head. We're gonna, head back to the...
How many days has it been? Like 5?
4.
4. Okay.
It took you 3 days to get to Taka, and then you spent the night at the inn. You are on day 4 right now.
Well, we took care of that real fast.
So, yeah, let's go knock down the mayor's door.
All right. So the 3 of you make your way back into town and find your way to the mayor's estate. You knock on the door, and after a moment, you hear, "Yeah, hang on a second. I'll be right there. Hang on." Hear some thumping, some shuffling of paper, and he comes to the door. The familiar halfling, hair on top, bald around the sides, and he looks, goes, yes, you 3. What's up?
Well, we figured out what happened.
That's great. Come in, please.
Before we do that, I don't think you'll believe us if we just tell you. I think it'd be better to show you instead.
Alright. Give me a second. Let me get my shit together again.
You might want to mentally prepare yourself for this. It's quite grisly.
He puts on a very serious face, goes in, comes back out a minute later wearing the same attire that he was when you guys dragged him out like an hour ago.
All right.
Alright, lead the way. Where are we going?
We're going to the doctor's.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
Yes. Well, it would appear that our suspicions were not only correct, but we also didn't know the extent of what was going on. Sad to say, we learned of those extents, and, well, we can't bring back those who are gone. But you can at least rest easy knowing that no one else will go missing.
Just lead the way then.
Very well.
To the doctors.
Alright, so you lead him over to the doctor's office. The front door is currently locked.
I just kick it in.
Yeah, just fucking kick it.
Make a strength check.
22.
You single heel to the door frame, just boom, and the door just kind of. And the mayor goes, was that really necessary? I mean,
it's been a long day.
You better be right about this, or else there's going to be some problems here.
Sorry, we were just here. We left from a different way exit.
There's only one door that you just...
There is more than one door. Trust me. We will show you.
Alright. And he follows you guys inside.
We're just going to, steer him away from the examination room. And lead him right up to this bookcase. And if it's not open, then pull it.
I mean, when we kick the door in, doesn't he see the dead doctor, right there?
Yeah.
Dang. I don't want to have to explain that yet.
You guys lead him into the room, and he's looking around, and he looks over and he sees the doctor's body, and he's like,
wait. See for yourself before you start saying anything, and lead him towards the secret tunnel.
And it's still open. You guys never closed it behind you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. He looks and he sees this weird tunnel. He's like, that's not normal. That wasn't there the last time I was here.
I imagine.
I imagine it was here for a long time. You just didn't know it was there.
You lead him downstairs, and he walks in. He goes, What the fuck is all this?
There happens to be a whole bunch of dead bodies down in that pit over there. I recommend not looking.
I'm the mayor. It's my job to look.
Well, then...
You must.
Eli will lead him over and, motion towards the hole with his hand and cast dancing lights down the hole again. And Eli is not looking down. He's not looking. He's just, nope.
Looking anywhere but.
He's doing that, and he's, using prestidigitation on his nose so he doesn't smell this awful smell.
Good idea. You cast your spell and are pointedly looking anywhere but. And the mayor looks down and he goes, "Oh God." Oh, and you looking away here.
That was my reaction too.
And then
was it in the same spot?
3 seconds later, you hear what sounds like liquid hitting liquid.
Oh, he threw up in the hole.
Oh God. Alright,
He snaps his fingers and dancing lights is snuffed out. He reaches in his bag and produces the journal. We have quite the large amount of incriminating evidence here in his journal. I will let you see it, but I have to request that I'm allowed to keep this. Myself and Zai were bitten by the doctor during a strange transformation that he performed on himself, and I don't know what kind of side effects it will have.
Make a persuasion.
Oh God! All right. This is not gonna go well. Oh well. Okay.
If you can provide me with enough other evidence to be able to kind of close this up, then sure, you can hold on to the journal, whatever the hell it is.
I point at the hole.
You gotta understand, I need to have something that I can take with me, because now I'm gonna have to do a report with the peeps back in Cascazzini. And,
I understand.
They're very by the book, and by that I mean they'll hit you with the book if you don't follow the book.
Well, the good thing is I don't think any of the... this journal I don't think is going to contain exactly what he was doing day to day. I think it was more of it's more of research purposes, which I don't think will be too terribly incriminating, but you can see over here, and he motions towards the cells. Do you know what that symbol is?
No.
You should probably get some of your stone people to get it off the wall.
It would be very wise. That is a teleportation rune. It would appear that the good doctor was under the employ of a Rakshasa. Are you familiar with what that is?
No, I can't say that I have, no.
Okay, imagine a large tiger person backwards... Yes, tiger person. They're fiends of sorts. They are very powerful, magical, manipulative, deceptive. They're regal, prideful creatures. It would appear that there's a Rakshasa by the name of Marpesh who was coming here and had some sort of agreement with the doctor. Yeah, it would appear that in exchange for knowledge, power, and whatever else, the doctor would provide him with meals. Namely the townsfolk. It would also appear that the doctor was taking some townsfolks for his own experiments, as he motions towards the hole.
It's a sad thing to hear, I'll tell you.
It is.
We here in Taka don't really have a whole lot of support coming from Kaskazini. Or from anyone else for that matter. It's kind of we're just on our own, and well, that body in the other room was our only physician.
Right.
Well, the people are better off without his medicine anyways. It was attracting monsters.
His medicine was... it was a way of him marking his next target. And then that mishmash monster creation would come out and take them in the middle of the night. And then they would come through here, and he'll motion towards the open, passageway.
Right. Well, I think I got enough to go on anyways. I'm gonna have to write up, some details. Anyways, let's head back to my office and, we'll wrap things up. I imagine you folk want to get as far away from here as possible. I know I do.
Mayor, I think I can speak for my companions here, but you say you have no support here, but give us a little bit of time, and I think you will have the Free Company's support. We will do what we can.
I would be more than appreciative if you could.
I will see what I can do. We are in the works of getting a new base of operations set up. And with that, new recruits. And I think we can send people your way to help. It'll take time, of course, but we will do what we can, I assure you.
Well, we ain't going anywhere. Well,
not anymore.
Right now, we're going somewhere right now. We're going back to my office. Let's go.
Right.
Are you guys following him? Is there anything that either of the other two want to do?
Are there any, surgical blades or anything around?
Make a investigation.
7.
You actually find a single scalpel that seems to have been discarded near one of the cell doors.
I'll pick that up.
Okay, add 1 scalpel.
I don't think I'm doing anything.
Okay. You guys follow the mayor back to his office. He brings you into his office itself. And he goes behind his desk and rummages around in one of the drawers and pulls out a sack. And he says, "Here's your payment, as promised. You did your word. You did the job. That's all I could ask for. As promised, 750 gold pieces. I'd count it myself right now, but, well, I got shit out of it.
Once again, we're terribly sorry that we could not save anyone.
You saved more lives for the future."
True.
Well, as much as we hate to rush out of here, we kind of are on a tight time schedule. We'll have to take our leave.
That's fine. However you, free company folk operate. I need to take care of a few things here myself, so,
I'm sure that we're going to stay the night, and then head out first thing in the morning. We need to recuperate. As he holds his shoulder again.
Well, it was nice meeting you, Zai, Ilo, and, Eli.
It was a pleasure.
May our paths cross again with, less shitty conditions.
May we meet again.
And you guys leave. Where are you headed?
I figured to the tavern, to our room.
Yeah, we already paid for our night here. May as well.
Yeah.
You guys go back to the tavern. The bartender is behind the bar, currently serving himself and a single patron that's sitting at the bar. Seems like they're both just having a drink and kind of just talking in, not really like a hush whisper or anything. They're just kind of talking normal volume. Since there's
As we walk through, I'm just gonna go to the bartender. Feel free to spread the word. No one else should be disappearing.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. It's good that you folks can figure things out. Much appreciated.
I just nod.
Who done it?
The doctor.
I'm sorry.
As Eli just like casually walks up the stairs.
Did he just say the doctor?
The doctor made a deal with some kind of tiger thing.
Right. Well, it's a shame to hear. I reckon folk around these parts were really relying on that doctor, but probably for the best at this point.
Shame someone in such a position had to do something like this.
Yeah. Well, drink for a job well done.
I think I'll take you up on that. I need a drink at this point.
Alright, we're doing hard stuff for this kind of celebration. He reaches behind the counter, pulls out a 2 shot glasses, and pours what seems to be some sort of whiskey into both. Raises the shot glass to it, says, "To solve mysteries."
Solving mysteries.
He downs it and he looks over the counter. I assume Ilo is there, or did Ilo go upstairs?
We'll say I'm with Zai.
Alright, so he goes, "Oh, sorry, little friend. You want a shot as well?"
I'm okay.
You sure? It's some damn fine whiskey.
I'm fine. I need to rest up.
Well, you folks, have a good rest of the day, and, I'd say definitely rest up. If you solve that mystery, then, goddamn, you deserve it.
Yeah, I would have downed mine at the same time he did.
Okay. You both go upstairs?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, you make your way upstairs and go into the room. You guys only have the one room with the single bed, the small nightstand, and the makeshift desk.
I will let bedroll and go to sleep.
Eli is like already at the desk. His like jacket is his torn jacket is sitting like draped over the chair. Like his clothes are like ripped up right now.
Yep.
He's like, so his jacket is draped over the chair. You can see the gash like across his shoulder. He's got his vest and shirt. Like his vest is undone and his shirt's like very loose, like and pulled out. He looks very unprofessional, which is probably the first time that y'all have seen this. And he's just like, his cane is leaned up against the desk and he's like poring over his, like he's got 2 books open. He's got the research journal and then like 1 or 2 of his books sitting there like on top of each other. And he's like reading page, like he reads a page. He's just page after page after page of the research journal. And if anything catches his eye, he like references one of his 2 research books. And like he has his head down, like hand like on his forehead and fingers in his hair. He is like in the zone right now.
All right. And what about Ilo?
I'm going to bed. I don't take up that much space, and I'm still hurt, so.
Okay. So you guys go to bed, or rather, Zai and Ilo go to bed. Eli, you are thumbing through the book. Make a investigation and Arcana again for me.
Okay, I'm gonna use a D6 on that investigation. Yeah.
Alright, Kyle, D6, gone.
Okay.
14.
God damn it.
Okay, and then the Arcana.
God damn. 15.
Okay. So, you flipping through this book, indeed you find that there are a lot of details on transmutation of living creatures into like an essence that can be used to alter oneself, to make oneself better. You find little tidbits of the doctor like writing in the side margins of like gorilla ? Wolf senses ? Pointing to like different little diagrams and bits of how the application might work. You don't find anything else in that regard, but it's a pretty big journal, and even in a fair amount of time. How long are you dedicating to reading this? Because you can essentially read this for 4 hours and then still meditate for 4, and that would count as long rest.
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna read for 3 hours because I'm gonna spend an hour.
Resummoning darkness.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'll meditate for 4 hours.
So flipping through, even in 3 hours, it's a pretty big journal. There are a lot of research notes. It's going to take you a while to go through. One thing you do find interesting is that there is actually a inscription which you recognize as the written language of Arcana, which is only used by wizards.
Oh. Ooh.
You realize that should you so wish it, you could transcribe the Alter Self spell.
Hell yes.
So, being that you are level 3 now, at the end of this rest anyways, if you so desired, you can spend the gold cost for the ink and the required time, and you can transcribe the Alter Self spell into your wizard spellbook.
Fucking hell yeah, I will.
Because me as a DM acknowledge the fact that this game is meant where, as a wizard, you're supposed to be able to copy spells.
Yes.
And I don't like when people don't include that.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
So that happens. Ilo, you go to sleep for 8 hours. Yep. Zai, you also sleep for 8 hours. Zai, you...
Yes. Sorry, real quick. What level spell is that? It's a level 1 or 2?
2.
2?
Alter Self is a second level spell.
The process takes 2 hours and costs 50 for each level of the spell. It takes 2 hours. So it takes. Oh god, it's just gonna take. So it takes 4 hours.
Yep.
Ooh boy, and costs 50 gold. Okay.
It's 25 gold per level.
So it just says it costs 50 gold. Oh, the cost represents the material components you expend as you experiment with the book, or experiment with the spell to master it, as well as the fine inks you need to record it.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah.
Okay.
Zai, your rest is a very fitful one. You feel a strange strength seeming to pulse through your body. It's unfamiliar to you. It feels like your body is growing, like it seems to be changing. Nothing physical, more internal it feels like. You seem to be tossing and turning a lot as you sleep. You can feel yourself going into a bit of a cold sweat as you're waking. Barely, as you turn over and then go back to sleep, and then kind of barely conscious and roll over again. It's a very odd feeling for you, and yet you feel better for it somehow. As the 8 hours comes to a conclusion, Eli, you are just finishing your meditation. Ilo, you're just waking up as well. Zai, you wake up, and you don't notice anything different about yourself particularly. You just feel kind of itchy. Like parts of your scales, like your arms, your legs, the back of your neck, just feels kind of irritated. You also notice that the box that you carry around seems to be humming. It seems like there seems to be like a vibration to it, like it's shaking.
Noticing that, I'm definitely taking the box out.
You grab the box, and as soon as your hands touch it, you hear a tick, and you notice that the lock that was on it seemed to have popped off of its own, and the box opened up just a little bit.
I'm gonna pull out of my bag and then open it facing away from the other two, because I don't know what's in this thing.
Okay, you open it up. And the first thing you notice is that inside there is a letter with a seal on it.
I will read the letter. Do I recognize the seal?
You recognize it to be your master's.
Okay.
And hang on. I'm going to send the details to you in a Discord whisper. If I would ask that you read it aloud, so that the stream can hear it.
Okay.
However, whether or not you are reading it out loud in character so the others can hear is up to you, whether or not you're going to share any of the details.
Hey.
I'm going to open up Discord and private message it to you. It's a lot.
Oh. Sweet.
Oh, 2,000 characters, and that is way more than 2,000 characters. Alright, hold on a sec, guys. The cameras are going to get a little screwy as I have to private message Onyx.
Are we on Skype now?
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
So let me know, should I have the other two take their headphones off?
Let me find it again. Okay. I don't know. No.
You don't want them to hear it?
No, they can hear it. I don't care.
You're gonna read the whole thing then? Okay. Alright.
Hopefully there's nothing too personal in here.
Go ahead and read then.
Zai, If you're reading this, then you're already on the path to accomplishing all I had hoped for you. I imagine that you receiving this letter was not under the best of circumstances, and I imagine you have a lot of questions. I'll try to tell you what I can here and also explain what the purpose of this box is. When King Grishta first announced his decision to implement the council, I was suspicious. I've seen the world, traveled its length and width for so long, enough in my day to know when something doesn't feel right. This didn't feel right at all. We dwarves have a knack for declining aid of any sort and often are too thick-headed to accept change. We're very much akin to that of the god of earth in that sense. When the council was created, I did some digging into the folks who would be sitting on the council. I called in a few favors from some folks who I'll not mention for personal reasons. The people on the council, they don't exist. Or rather, no one has ever heard of them or seen them. Understandably, this got me worrying for the future of our kingdom and possibly the whole world. Before the council, we were a fair country of proud warriors and craftsmen alike. Now things are changing. There's a foul chill on the wind, so that's why I've been reclusive as of late. I've been doing my digging, trying to find out the council's angle and what I could do to try and prevent it. But my body's old, my mind's slowing. I'm not the same adventurer I used to be. But you whom I've watched go from a wandering fool to a forge-hardened smith and fighter, you could be what we all need. I know, it might not be fair for me to put this much burden on your shoulders, and I would understand if you abandoned this path I'm trying to put you on. But you've got the potential to be greater than even I was, which is why I leave you with this box. Enclosed, you'll find 3 master runes that I discovered on my adventures. These runes can grant special properties to a person's body, armor, shield, or weapon when used correctly. That being said, I've only mastered a few myself, and it's been too long since I've had to use them in combat. Maybe you'll be able to get the hang of them better than I ever could. You'll also find 3 pristine smelted bars of bright steel. I took all of my personal savings to acquire these, but I think it'll be worth it for you and whomever your traveling companions may be. The instructions for making items out of bright steel is vastly different from what a normal blade would be. You must follow these instructions to the dot or else you risk dangerous results. Bright steel can be a powerful weapon or an unending curse. This is why only a master smith is permitted to forge these items. I'm trusting you with these instructions, Master Smith Zykiran. Good luck. I will omit the how to forge bright steel artifacts from the other 2.
Okay, in that case, Kyle and Neil, could you guys take your headphones off for a moment? Alright, both of them are off, go ahead.
How to forge bright steel artifacts. Required items: a master smith forge, a pristine blacksmithing toolkit. Worn, used, reforged tools won't suffice. A bar of bright steel. A day's time per item forged, 24 hours. At the Master Smith Forge, you must smelt down the bright steel into its liquid form. The liquid, if smelted properly, should be a swirling mass of silver and purple. If the 2 colors of the metal begin to separate, immediately apply intense heat until they mix back together. Do not overheat or material will be lost. For a stronger bond to the intended wielder, introduce a piece of them to the molten material. Hair or blood works best. You may proceed without soul bonding, but the end result will be weaker than a soul-bound artifact. Place your bare hands into the molten material. Very important. Clear your mind as you do so and allow the influx of arcane energies into your mind and body. If you resist, you will lose your hands and potentially go insane. The rest will happen without you even knowing. If you've gotten this far, you've successfully created a bright steel artifact. Zai, burn this after you've memorized the instructions. Nobody who isn't a master smith should know these techniques. If you trust your companions, you may permit them to observe, but under no circumstances should these instructions fall into outside hands.
Alright. And we just need to get them to put their headphones back on.
And with that, I puff out a little fire onto the letter and it burns to pieces after I memorize this thing, which I'm copying.
So, Eli and Ilo, you hear this reading from Zai as he's reading this letter from the box. And then you see him read through a little bit more and then just kind of breathe out a little puff of flame, and the paper goes up in smoke.
What?
There was material on there that was too sensitive for anyone to ever find out.
I understand.
And Zai, inside the box you indeed find the sets of runes, as well as 3 pristine bars of bright steel.
I just kind of touch the bright steel bars reverently, but I do not take them out of the box. The runes, on the other hand, I will take out and examine.
They, as you're touching the runes and just kind of picking each of them up, they feel familiar to you. Almost like you've known them, but you've never known them, if that makes sense. Like they were always a part of you, or something that you would recognize, but you just could never quite place it with words. And metagame, you are now officially a rune guard. You just need to take the time to assign which runes you are using.
And take the time to inscribe them onto everything, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay. Now, to you, or to Magical DM God. Do you know what a Master Smith's Forge entails?
Typically Master Smith forges, and Zai would absolutely know this because he was working in one for a long time.
In that case, this was not out loud asked. So, what do I know about a Master Smith Forge?
You know that Master Smith forges are not rare. Typically you can find them in any relatively major town or city. Most often they are owned exclusively by a Master Smith. They can be loaned out for use to outside smiths, provided that you can prove that you are yourself a Master Smith. It's kind of like a shared brotherhood concept.
Do I know how I would go about proving I'm a Master Smith?
Make a history check.
History.
With advantage.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Offhand, trying to remember, you can't recall what it is that you remember Master Smith Tumal Runeblade or Redblade telling you something about Master Smiths. You recall there being a conversation, but you were in the middle of forging something and you get very absorbed into your work sometimes, and it's very fuzzy.
Okay. Hey, Eli, you're well learned, and I know you've heard lots of stories, right?
Yes.
I have, yeah.
Either one, you know how one goes about proving they're a Master Smith. Like, I guess I'm one now, but I don't know how to tell anybody I am.
Nope, haven't heard that one.
Yeah, Ilo, you haven't heard anything of that sort. Your tales are typically a bit more adventurous in nature.
I tell a tale that's completely like he's
ludicrous.
Just going on about something that seems
Kelly
like
told
it's
me
a
this
fake
one time in
story
band camp.
that he could not differentiate from being a real story. But you can just tell that's not what you're looking for.
Perfect. This one time in band camp, there was a clarinet. No. Eli, you, being the researcher, especially of bright steel that you are, and its usage with smithing, you're aware that typically master smiths are loath to share their forges with people who are outsiders. Typically the only way to gain access is by an exchange of craft.
Okay.
So I make something for you, as like this is my work and I'm giving it to you so you may let me use your forge.
Right. Oh, well, from what I can recall, well, basically you have to prove it. You present them with something that you've crafted to show that you can make something of master material.
And you are surrendering it. Like, you're giving it to them as a gift, as like a payment.
Okay. You would have to surrender a masterwork weapon or piece of armor or anything that you've crafted.
Well, I guess I can do that on a temporary forge. Don't need a master one to make something.
One would assume.
Okay, well, might want to use these ingots on something not useful in ingot form.
Okay, so just to clarify, did you tell us the part about the ingots?
I read you everything except the instructions on how to forge it.
Which means yes, because part of the letter was saying, I've left you with...
3 bright steel ingots, yeah.
Okay, so Eli wants to see them. He like motions... Because like I think we're like on the other side of the box. Like he's like up... He's like come up to you, but like not come around. And he kind of motions, may I look at them?
I'm hesitant.
I won't touch them. I would just love to set my eyes upon them.
But then I'll slowly turn the box around.
Eli, you sure as the day you were born are sure that is 3 bars of bright steel. To describe what it looks like, both for you guys as well as the audience, it is a pristine-looking metal bar about the size of a let's say like your forearm. And the metal appears to be, as described, a metallic bright steel that seems to almost emit a glow to it. Looking closer at it, you can see barely visible, very faint traces of a purplish swirl in the metal that seems set into it. There seems to be a sparkle, like a glow to it, as it seems to almost like weave in and out of the metal into it like veins of magic, it would seem almost. Wow,
Eli's
that
just...
music changed right on the cue.
Yeah. Eli is just like eyes wide open, just like kind of lost in it.
Ilo is just like blankly looking at it like, yep, seen that 1,000 times.
Yeah, Ilo, for you, this is nothing new. You've seen that shit 1,000 times before. You've never seen it in a smelted bar like this, but yeah. You've seen bright steel plenty of times.
Eli just had like his hand kind of like it, like he does like the thing where you kind of like reach out like a little bit and then like pull back. I can't believe I'm actually seeing it with my own eyes for once.
Again, though, when you turn into something, a bar like this isn't going to help anybody.
All right.
3 bars, something for each of us.
That's true.
What could you do with a piece of metal?
Me?
I know I could make a knife for Ilo. I could use glaive. I don't know what you could do.
What you're gonna hate the most is making fucking kitchen knives.
Bright steel kitchen knives. Let's go.
Onyx, I assume you remember, but just a reminder of the instructions towards the end.
I couldn't...
Oh, right. Yeah, but I'm still asking anyway.
No,
I couldn't even begin to imagine. I mean, I obviously don't need I'm not really one to know how to use a weapon.
Well,
maybe a small trinket of some sort.
It did say it might come to me when I was making it. This was just kind of an idea for when I started.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
Don't really know how you could like make something on accident. So
I would honestly, for me, I would think more of a like something I would wear, or
like a ring.
I'm not sure. A ring, a necklace, bracelet,
So some kind of
really,
jewelry. Okay.
some sort of item that I would wear, as a weapon would be wasted on me.
Make bookmarks.
A bright steel book. That would be something.
Just a book with chiseled letters.
You can't open it. It's impossible. It's literally just a folded book. That's it. It's stuck.
But it has so much detail that it just looks like there's individual pages in there.
Oh, that's good.
It's a sculpture.
You just have to lug around a whole sculpture with you everywhere you go.
And it's still a weapon. You just thump people.
Oh my
Bludgeoning
god.
Boom. The only weapon proficiency you get with a book.
You are proficient with bludgeoning
Books.
spellbooks.
Yep.
It wasn't nighttime when we got back here, was it? And went
It
to
is
sleep?
currently about to be nighttime. Like you guys, the sun is setting.
Wow.
In that case, since we can't really do much, I'm gonna take out a chisel from my blacksmithing tools and begin inscribing a rune onto my weapon.
Sure, you have plenty of time to rune up whatever you need.
Takes 8 hours, so perfect.
Oh wow. Yeah. I will spend 2 hours that I need to copy that spell down.
Okay, yeah, we'll say at some point you go down to the local shop, pick up whatever ink and components you might need, and
Are we just that the 750 gold?
Yep.
How does that work as far as like between us and the company itself?
you were instructed that payment was to be delivered to the guild because that money is specifically supposed to be split among the guild.
Okay.
We give to them and then we each get 5 gold for our good work.
Yep. Madame Grishta gets most of it.
Of course.
For the retirement fund, you know. She got that 401k.
Bright tilt walking stick. That's good, actually.
Oh my god.
That's a solid idea.
So what are you guys doing?
Good job, Undead.
I love it.
I'm ruining stuff.
All right.
I'm half dead, so I'm gonna sleep on that.
Well, you already slept.
Okay.
That's what all this was about prior.
Okay.
Yeah, you all feel a little bit stronger, a little bit more potent. Your level 3 everything is in effect for all 3 of you.
Ah.
I don't know what to put my expertise into, but I'll figure out later. I forgot that I get that now.
You might want to figure it out sooner than later, because who knows what's going to happen tonight.
I'll put it in stealth and performance if performance is my cooking stat, which I think it was, because that's kind of like your bard performance thing for this kind of chef.
If you're doing it for entertainment, then yeah.
Well, I mean,
But
just
it's
like
not
your
entertainment.
cooking performance, yeah, your ability to cook
Right.
is what that is, yeah.
Sure.
Okay, because there's no other role that cooking is, so just assuming we're going performance because that's what bards do in performances. That's cooking. So stealth and cooking is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Performance.
So Eli will spend the 2 hours to do the ultra self transcription. I think like while he's doing that, he's like flipping through books, he copying stuff, and that's where he learned. Oh, I should put this. Oh, I found this other spell. Oh, let me put this in my book real quick. And he finds 2 spells to add to his book aside from ultra self.
Keep in mind, you do have a limit to the amount of spells you can have prepared.
Right. Which actually, I do need to look at that again because it's like level. Because I do want to prepare couple of new stuff.
Okay, so we'll say 8 hours goes by. The sun is beginning to rise. You guys still have a pretty decent amount of energy considering you just slept and rested for a good long while. What would you guys like to do?
Well, if it's morning, we should probably head out.
3 plus my intelligence, so 6.
I have no idea how to add fucking expertise on this sheet.
You click the green button and it'll turn yellow.
Yep.
Click the green dot. Oh.
That's me.
Oh, okay, cool. Yep. That's simpler than what I was trying to do.
So where are you guys heading?
According to the plan, we were gonna head
back to
Shayla's. Or were we stopping in the...
Through the Ember Scar Grove this time, though.
Right.
Might as well travel through there. We've got time?
Yeah, if we're ahead of schedule, then we should definitely do that.
Day 5.
Yep, you guys are currently on day 5.
Cool.
And it'll be day 8 when we get back.
I know that because I am keeping a very close track in my DM book.
And wasn't that going to take like 12 days round trip for Faith?
Yep.
Okay. Oh shit, we're way ahead of schedule then. Okay.
Alright, so you guys spend the next 8 hours traveling out of Taka and back into the realm of Midwood. You cross the border and find yourselves eventually wandering into a still somewhat cold, but a bit warmer, hilly landscape. Far to the south, you can see in the distance the telltale signs of the dead husks of the burnt trees that is the Ember Scar Grove. And not that far, well, to the far east, you can see the forests of Midwood.
Very good.
It is about... Let's say it's like 4 p.m. by the time that you guys are basically ready to conk out.
Ilo, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't happen to know a spell. You wouldn't happen to know the mending spell, would you?
Mending? No.
Oh, darn it.
Did you make something?
My clothes were torn in the battle, and I would love to fix them. And mending was not in the spell book that I brought with me. It's no matter. I have other clothes. So we're doing what exactly now?
You guys can choose. You can either make camp, or you can attempt to push on further.
Would that incur exhaustion?
It would.
Oh no.
Yeah, probably camp then.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys make camp. What is the watch order?
Bartimus is watching at all times.
I think I should go first, because it's daytime and I can see.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Alright, so Zai, you're taking the first watch. Give me a perception.
17.
Do you want me to do one for Bartimus as well?
Yes, please.
Advantage perception. 16.
Okay. You take your watch for the 2-3-ish hours. It seems to be pretty empty around here. You don't really notice a whole lot that seems to be going on. Until hour 3. That's when you notice that there seems to be some sort of wagon coming along the hills.
Like towards us, or just in passing?
In passing.
About how far off is it?
Probably a couple 100 feet away. It seems like a cart. On your 17 and Barnabas is 16. It appears to be a cart being pulled by an orc. And sitting on top of the cart, there appears to be what looks like a halfling.
I'm not going to do anything if they're just going past us. I'm going to stay that far out, then.
Are you attempting to hide yourselves?
No.
You notice that after they're seemingly passing by, they start altering course and coming towards you.
As they do that, I will wake up Ilo and Eli.
Oh, yeah. What's going on?
About to have some visitors come through a cart. Don't really know who they are. Saw us and turned over here.
Oh, okay. Do they look dangerous?
Well, one of them's an orc and he's pulling a cart. He might be dangerous. The other one's a halfling who's riding the cart. I don't know so much about him.
Oh. An orc. That's interesting.
As you are standing there, the cart starts coming closer and closer, and you can hear the halfling kind of just humming to himself happily as the orc makes the occasional kind of grunting noise and pulls the cart towards you guys. As they start getting closer, the halfling looks at you guys, waves in the air, and says, "Well, hey there!"
Hello there.
Hang on, we're pulling up. We're parking. Bubba, go park the cart. Bubba. And you hear the orc just go, "Urgh," and pull the cart up near your camp. The halfling hops off, and the orc kind of lets the cart down. And they come over, and the halfling goes, "Hey there, name's Chuck. And this here is my pal Bubba."
It's a pleasure to meet you, Chuck. I'm Zai. What brings you to our humble camp today?
Zai? Well, we're a traveling salesman duo, you might call it. I am Chuck Liddell, and this here is my partner, Bubba. And Bubba just goes, "Urgh." And we sell all sorts of items. We have normal items and magic items. Would you like to take a look-see?
Well, I don't know about my companions, but I can't say that I have too much gold to spend on things.
Well, that's a shame. Got a lot of great stuff here that I think y'all might like it.
What is it?
I'm glad you asked. And he goes over and he goes, "Bubba, activate the cart." And Bubba just goes,
"Activate the cart."
Bubba just goes, "Ugh," and then just kind of pushes a button on the side of the cart, and you watch as this cart unfolds with like a bunch of flipping mechanisms and gears. It just goes, and you watch this kind of like a gazebo flip out from the top of the cart. A bunch of like small wooden tables flip out of seemingly nowhere and seems to form a shop front. And you can see that there are a few peculiar looking items. And he goes, "Welcome to my shop. I am Chuck, and this is my partner, Bubba. Do you want to know why they call me Chuck?"
Sure. I'm quite interested now.
"Bubba, do the thing." And he just goes, "Ugh." And you watch as Bubba picks up Chuck in one hand, pulls back, and then full-on launches Chuck. And you watch as he goes flying over the hillside and disappears behind a distant hill. And as he's flying away, you just hear, "And that's why they call me Chuck." And you
he like
see...
just turns back to Bubba like, what?
Well, it's actually a rather peculiar thing. He seems to enjoy it when I do that sort of thing. Bubba, by the way,
you can talk like that.
Pleasure to meet you. He holds out a hand.
It's a pleasure to meet you too. I shake it.
No, he thinks I'm a bit of an idiot, but it's all right.
I must say, you are a very good actor.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So, anything in this magical card of yours that you think we'd particularly want?
Well, I suppose that depends. What is it that you are looking for? What would tickle your fancy?
Eli, can you think of anything?
I'm sorry, I'm still trying to get over what just happened here.
He's talking. What's there to get over?
I understand that. But that, oh boy. Whew. So, is he going to be alright?
Oh,
well,
yeah,
that's why they call him Chuck. I'm sure he does it all the time.
Exactly.
Hey, do you have any blacksmith tools in there? Like, really good ones that have never been used?
You know, in fact, I actually do. Let me, hang on one second. It's wrong storefront. Most of this stuff here is garbage. And he pushes another button as you watch as more of these levers and tables seem to just flip and contort and you watch as it changes over to a bunch of various tools all arranged in a display. Goes, yeah, let me see here. Blacksmithing tools. But yes, actually, we do have a very nice set here.
That is quite impressive.
And how much would those cost?
Well, thing about these blacksmithing tools is, they're actually a bit magical.
Yeah.
Was that a no? Like, I don't care.
Oh, it's not exactly what I was looking for, but go on. They might be interesting.
Well, these magic blacksmithing tools, when you use them, any rolls that you need to make with blacksmithing tools will have a +1 to them.
Any rolls, huh?
Yeah, indeed.
And how much would a fancy set of tools like that cost?
That would be whatever the blacksmithing tools normally cost, plus an extra 20 gold.
See, I'm not going to be able to afford that.
How much are blacksmith tools?
I don't know. I can't afford the 20 gold.
Let's see.
Blacksmith tools
Nope.
are 20 gold, so 40 total.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, I can't afford anything.
Oh, that's a
I haven't
shame.
paid yet. About either you two looking for anything?
Not really. I like knives and cooking. That's kind of my thing.
As you guys are talking, you see Chuck walking back towards you guys, and he goes, "And that's why they call me Chuck. So, did they buy anything, Bubba?" And Bubba just goes, "Urgh."
Wow, Chuck, that was real impressive. Could you do it again? I want to see it twice.
Oh, absolutely. I totally understand. It is an amazing feat, let me tell you. Bubba, do the thing. And he just grabs Chuck, lifts him up, and you just watch as Chuck goes flying, and he goes, "That's why they call me Chuck."
Yeah, I figured you might want to break from that act.
Oh, it's nothing really. I don't mind. He's a good friend.
Plus, that is actually pretty impressive.
Thank you. I am so upset that Dylan is missing this right now.
These his two NPCs.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god. Never mind. I'm not going to ask.
So, if neither one of you want to buy anything, do you mind, like, letting me borrow, I don't know, like, 27 gold?
I have 26 gold.
I could spare you some.
I was not joking. That is exactly how many gold I have. And then 9 silver, so almost 27.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's 1 silver short. I'm going to go ahead and put all of my money at 0 because I'm assuming I don't have that anymore.
Well, how much are you handing to Zai?
My money.
All of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Zai, you have an additional 26 gold pieces and 9 silver pieces.
Sweet. I now have 7 silver pieces left over after I hand over 40 gold to buy the blacksmithing tools.
He takes the money and he goes, it's a pleasure then. Was there anything else that any of you wanted to get?
I mean, I'm always looking for books and things of the nature.
Think we got some of those.
I'm a learned type.
He pushes the button on the cart, and again, you watch as more of these things come flipping out, and then all along the side of the cart, you see there are bookshelves.
He just looks back. You guys might want to go on ahead. I might be here for a while.
No, Chuck is bad. And you watch as Chuck comes over the hill again, and he goes, and that's why they call me Chuck.
That's impressive, Chuck.
That's impressive every time I see it.
This is quite the large selection that you have here.
Indeed.
Why did you get all of this stuff?
Well, we have resources, some trading, a few blacksmiths that kind of aid us, and like he looks at Zion, he's like, bought the what are them hammer tools? Very nice. It's one of our better items. Good on you. You got the money, Bubba? Good. So, what else can I get you folks?
Well, I was going to take a look at the books and things of that nature.
Oh. Gotcha. Well, we have this really cool book here, right here. And yes. he pulls out one book, and he goes, this book is called Where the Monsters Were. It's one of my favorites.
Okay.
I'm glad you got that one, Onyx.
I think I read the prequel to that, Where the Wild Things Are.
Well, I can't say that I've really heard of that one before.
It's a riveting tale, I assure you. It's one of my favorite ones. I always read it before I go to bed.
Does it have pictures?
It does. That's the best part.
He just takes it out of Chuck's hand and puts it back on the shelf.
All right, well, suit yourself.
It's not exactly the kind of books I was referring to.
And just out of curiosity, if Bubba had to choose a book for this, what do you think he would choose?
Well, Bubba, he doesn't really read. He's a very simple orc.
Well, just have one.
Just looks like.
Just have him pick one randomly. See what he chooses. That might be better suited. I mean, may as well, right?
You notice Bubba is giving you like a look, like a "What the fuck are you doing?" look.
I'll stop then. I won't say anything else. I shrug.
I wouldn't worry about it. Bubba's not really the reading type. He's a very strong, silent type, you know.
I understand completely.
Of course. Well, Bubba, which book looks the most fun to you?
Well, he ain't gonna know. Don't worry about it. Let me tell you about it. All right, I've got this one right here. I'm sorry?
It was more just like a random type question.
Well, here, there's this book right here, and he reaches up and pulls out another book.
Before he takes it off the shelf, Eli puts his hand on the guy's figure. Does this book have pictures? I'm not interested in books with pictures.
No,
unless
this one, I can't read it.
Oh, okay. Because if it was like diagrams and sketches, that would be different.
It's got some of those, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
I find it boring, but you might like it.
I do find most things that others call boring quite interesting.
He pulls out what appears to be... It's a black leather-bound book with gold trimming.
Ooh.
And gold filigree along the edges of the paper. And on the cover, you read in the arcane language of wizards.
Ooh.
It says...
Can I read that now?
Do you have a thing that can do that? Because I can't remember.
Yeah, I can suddenly read anything that involves magic or arcane or religious scripts.
There's no roll involved?
It gives me expertise on any roles involving them, but I can understand them now.
Then you would be able to understand it as well.
Oh, wow.
It says, spellbook property of Archmage Merwald.
Oh my freaking, what the hell? He reads that and his eyes just go real big. This is quite interesting. May I?
Of course.
He'll kind of gingerly grab it and just kind of like open up a random page. Just kind of like he wants to just kind of thumb through to see just what kind of stuff is in here.
These spells are way beyond your skill level. You're not 100% sure what spells are what, because it's very hard for you to read and understand, but these are way beyond your magic level right now.
He goes, like as he pulls a page, he goes, turns page. Ah, I see.
Yeah, it's a pretty boring book.
Yes, I understand some of these words.
Great, then you'll buy it?
I mean, I would love to, but I don't know if I'm going to have the gold for it. Depends on what you're asking.
Well, for a book like that, for a connoisseur such as yourself, book like that, I'd say would cost you about 2,000 gold.
He just puts it back very gingerly and just, it was nice doing business with you, sir. I hope you and your companion have a wonderful time. Good day to you.
Of course. And what about you, little one? He says as he's the same height as you.
I'm okay.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Zai, and other people. And, well, if you ever see us around, feel free to stop us if you want to buy more stuff.
Well, try to find us when we've been paid before.
We will. Pleasure to meet you, Chuck. Bubba?
We've literally not gotten paid at all.
Oh.
I mean...
It was a pleasure.
Good day to you.
You watch as Chuck climbs back up onto the cart. Bubba pushes a button and... as it all folds back into this neat, compact cart. And Bubba just goes, "Urgh!" Goes up to the front of the cart and starts pulling it away. You watch as they start making their way, what appears to be southwest.
God, I wanted to steal something so bad.
Can you imagine if we just killed them and took everything in their cart?
You are welcome to try, is all I'm going to say.
No, I like them.
I don't think Isla can survive being thrown that far.
I guarantee you Isla would be gone. Isla's blasting off again!
Isla has to change his name to Chuck.
And that's why they call me Chuck!
Change my name to Dead.
Because you'd probably take so much fall damage.
My name is Corpse.
My name is what? My name is what? My name is Corpse. Alright, so, yeah. I assume you guys go back to sleep, or at least I does.
I think that was the end of my watch. Who wanted to go next?
I don't care.
I can go next.
Okay.
Perception? I'm assuming?
Yes, please.
Boom. And...
For Barty.
Boop. Ah, fucking Vardamus with the crit.
You don't notice anything else out of the ordinary. You can see from Bartimus that the cart and halfling are off towards the southwest. That's about it.
He is spending however long this watch is. He's spending that time going through that journal more.
Okay. Make another investigation and Arcana.
Fucking hey! I finally got a decent investigation on it.
You reading through a bit more, you don't find much more reading through in terms of anything magical related in regards to creatures or anything. You do, however, find a bit of detailing on alchemy and some of the more basic properties of how it's been used, how the doctor was using it for more mundane treatments, how he was using it to attempt to kind of stabilize creatures he was experimenting on when he was doing the whole animal takeover bit. You notice a part detailing use of the black needles in order to prevent the spread of any injections of animal essence into certain like limbs and body parts of a humanoid test subject.
Okay. So I know he is specifically looking for the spread and the transmission.
It seems like you're getting there, but in the time that you're spending reading it, you haven't found anything just yet.
Okay. Feels like he's getting closer though.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Your watch goes by uneventful beyond that.
Okay.
I assume you wake up.
He will wake up Ilo. Ilo, it's time for your watch.
Okay.
Right.
Don't worry. If you need anything, Bartimus will be above watching with you.
Okay.
Oh my god, again with the crit.
Wow.
Bartimus is perceptive as fuck.
Hacks.
Still not as hacks as the time we rolled 3 in a row.
Oh god. Yeah, I still have that picture.
Me too.
Ilo and Bartimus, the watch goes by uneventful. You don't really see a whole lot. It's dark out. It is nighttime. That's about it.
Ilo is going to start, I guess, trying to scavenge around near the camp for cookable things.
Make a survival.
17.
Yeah, you find a few tubers that are under the ground. Just kind of digging around. You know, you're a kobold. Digging is what you do. You also are able to find a small den of rabbits, which will, for the sake of expediency, say that you quickly and efficiently dispatch.
Okay. So I'll go back over and... do we have a campfire? We do, didn't we? Because that's how they found us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll cook those up. And I'm going to use some of those mushrooms that I found that I didn't use for the pigs.
Okay.
I'll only use one of them because I'm really just trying to flavor profile it.
Sure. And what kind of food are you making?
God. Out of rabbits?
Rabbit stew.
Well, yeah, like you could either just cook the meat and make a rub for it. You could put it in a stew. You could make like shish kebabs of rabbit meat. Like, there are many ways to apply rabbit meat.
There's more than one way to cook a rabbit.
There is.
I would do shish kebabs because of the fact that I can keep the flavor of the mushrooms separate from that of the rabbit and profile it better, actually.
Sure. Give me your performance roll then.
Yay! Oh, also the unseen servant and blah 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 blah.
Right.
So the first however long 10 minutes of my watch would have been that, and then he does his cooking for 22.
You make a really good tasting rabbit shish kebab.
Now let's hope we don't get poisoned with mushrooms, because those were for pigs. Actually, no, they weren't for pigs. Were they? No, I found those, and then we discovered that pigs liked them.
Right.
I think. Yeah. But yeah, I'll have those ready for when everyone wakes up.
Nice.
All right. Watch goes by. Zai and Eli, you wake up to the delicious smell of what seems to be cooked rabbit. Zai, you notice little hairs, little things of hair that seem to be sticking out of your scales, which is very weird considering they're scales, but they seem to be growing through the scales.
What colors are they?
Make an investigation.
Oh my god.
Can't see color.
14.
Best as you can tell, looking at the hairs on your body that seem to be growing in all sorts of places, you notice that there are whites, some oranges, some black ones, which are a lot harder to find.
Hey, Eli?
Yes.
I think there might have been a page in that journal of yours that you didn't read.
He just gets like a oh dear look and like rushes over. What are you talking about? What's going on? Last night I was just getting to a section that was promising.
Well, remember that time you said that it didn't say anything about transferring whatever?
Well, upon first glance, yes, but
I think that might have been incorrect.
He like
Make an investigation, Eli.
Yeah, go away, Barnabas. There you go. Investigation. Oh, 20. Wow.
You see little hairs sticking out from the scales on Zai's body.
Oh, okay.
Anyone know how to cure disease or something like that? Because I kind of want to get rid of this.
I can get rid of it, and I pull out the scalpel.
I don't. You have any other way to get rid of it? Because I don't think cutting everything off is a good idea. There wouldn't be anything left.
Just the hairs. Haircut.
I think he means more magically.
I think the hairs will grow back.
No. Callie would know.
Oh boy. Give me more time with the book. I was getting real close. I assure you, I'm spending as much time as I can on the book. I felt like I was getting close last night.
Okay, I hope you're right.
I hope I am too. I mean, I don't think I don't know if I can really do anything about it right now.
Can I make a roll to see if Callie's told me about any of that?
Sure. Make a history.
12.
You have heard of lycanthropy in fairy tales and children's stories, but from a historical point of view and from the stories Callie's told you, that's never been a real thing.
Here, let me see if I can skim a few more pages while we eat. It won't be much, but anything's better than nothing, I suppose. And he'll pull the book out and turn to the last page that he was reading last night, while he's like popping pieces of shish kebab in his mouth.
Can the unseen servant read? Could that read to me? Like out loud? Could it make sound? Because that'd be great. Just then I could read.
As far as I understand it, unseen servants don't actually know any languages. They just obey your telepathic command.
Yeah. Doesn't say it doesn't read, though.
I would say, being that it's just a magical construction of yours, I'm going to go with no.
Yeah.
If it was like a conjuration, like an actual summoning, then, I mean, yeah. It's a creature from another plane of existence. This is just a manifestation of magic.
It's like asking, can Mage Hand do sign language?
Right. It's like, sure, I mean, you know it.
It can, yeah. Mm-hmm. All
right. So, Eli, you're just skimming through a few points.
Didn't mean to click that. Yeah.
In the book?
Yes.
Make another investigation arcana with disadvantage.
Okay.
Being that you are trying to skim through very quickly.
What language is this book in?
The research book?
Yeah.
Common.
Okay.
14.
Yeah, this isn't a magic book by any means.
And arcana.
Flipping through the few pages, reading through, it continues to go on about the application of the black needles, of how it can be used to contain the spreading of the essence. It seems to detail how it could perhaps be used to almost channel the essence to various parts. You actually see a diagram where it has the needles going from like one shoulder down to like the hip, and having kind of like a hand-drawn design of that entire left portion above the needles being of like an ape, while the other right side below the needles is all like a normal human, with the needles all going down that seam. Beyond that, though, nothing touching on anything of spread or anything of that sort yet.
Okay. I'm still not finding anything. But once we get back, oh my gosh, I can't remember names right now. Once we get back to Shayla's and we meet up with Faith, maybe there's something that she can do. She's a cleric, right?
That's also assuming she gets back at the right time, and she can do anything about it, and it's not too late by then. It might be worth waiting out here for an extra day while you've finished reading that book very thoroughly. See if you can find anything in it that way. Extra day isn't going to make much of a difference if we have to wait for Faith anyway.
That's true. I would be open to that.
I would be open to not being furry.
Definitely. Yeah.
So what are you guys doing?
I mean, I guess I'm gonna. If we're gonna stick around, Eli will just spend the entire day reading this book.
So you're gonna spend the 8 hours hanging out in the camp and reading through the book?
It would appear so.
Okay. What are you other two doing in the meantime?
I want to help him read this book. Like, as he flips through the pages, I'm just going to skim and see if I can find any keywords about this.
Sure. Ilo, what about you?
I don't think I have much to do.
Ilo goes on his own adventure.
Wrestling rabbits.
Ilo and Bartimus go on a side adventure.
Yeah. And go hunting.
I mean,
I'll do another unseen servant as a ritual, as we're, because this is just like daytime, yeah. What are we doing? Why aren't we moving?
No, actually, it's the middle of the night.
Yeah, but we just woke up.
It's like midnight.
Oh, but we're staying here?
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I'm turning into something.
Okay. Unseen servant is a ritual, and I'll have my unseen servant go around and pick up any, just collecting things of interest off the ground, mushrooms, edibles, plants, things like that.
Okay.
Just things that it would recognize, or I would, however, just things that it might see as edible.
Roll me a d20. Just a flat d20.
1.
Okay. So while you guys are reading, Ilo, you send your unseen servant off to gather what would seemingly be something edible. And after about like 20-30 minutes, your unseen servant comes back. And by that I mean you see floating in the air what appears to be a large clump of grass with the dirt still hanging on the bottom.
Ilo scorns it and is just like shaking his knives at it and yelling.
It's a magical construction. It does not react.
I know it doesn't.
You're just in the proper Reuben fashion, yelling and threatening with your knives.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Ilo right now. Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess he'll go and I guess try to find something to eat because we're going to be here for a minute apparently. I'll venture a little further off and actually do hunting, I guess.
All right, give me another survival. This time with advantage because you're taking your time.
Okay. 12.
Okay.
Survival's not a good one.
Yeah. Cooking the food, sure. Finding it,
No, I learned how to cook on water.
You search around a bit more, and you find there are a few like small herbs that you find kind of scattered here and about that would make for a good addition to a meal. You don't really find any like protein.
Gotcha. Okay.
You find a lot of add-ons, but no main course.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. I'm done.
In the meantime, Eli, make your investigation and Arcana with advantage because you have Zai helping you.
Okay, 17. I will go ahead and use that sweet D4 stream die.
Okay, D4 stream die is gone.
For a 1. So that puts it at an 18.
All right, and then the Arcana, please.
For an 18. So 18 and 18.
So reading through, continuing where you left off, it continues on about the spreading of the essence and how it can be controlled and manipulated and used to a positive effect as opposed to just a complete transmutation into that desired creature. It continues to go on about the potential applications of this and how it might function with magical creatures and their essence infusion. You find details on the attempts of the doctor to attempt to locate a I can't remember what the fuck the name of the creature is. Fucking scary cat thing with the tentacles.
Oh, Displacer Beast.
That was it. Thank you.
Oh, God.
You find details of the doctor attempting to locate and capture a Displacer Beast to no avail. You also find detailings of more hypothesis than anything on the doctor's part of the potential applications of doing this, even using elf blood, attempting to affix elf blood to a human body and seeing what kind of results that might yield. Attempting a similar fashion using gnome essence, being that gnomes are of a magical variety as well.
At the very end, like the last hour or two we're doing this, I just want to flip to the back of the book and start working backwards. Because that's when the thing exists already, so maybe the notes about the serum that's already there.
Gonna be difficult to do that while Eli is reading through where he currently is. It's one or the other. It's not. It's not like a very big book. Like it's a little journal. Like.
I mean, yeah. If he says that, I can just bookmark where I was, and then we can work our way backwards.
Okay. You flip towards the last few pages in the book. There are plenty of blank ones at the end. It looks like he was still writing. The last page that you see where he was writing details the gaining of essence from Marpash. Of Marpash willingly giving him a bit of his blood for the experimentation, of how he planned on essentially altering the essence obtained from Marpash and seeing how it could be infused into a living test subject. It details the next test subject that it seems the doctor was targeting was to be a young boy in the town that had a issue with asthma, who the doctor was seeing regularly. And his detailing of how he was planning on injecting a small portion of the essence into the boy, just straight up, and seeing what the impact would be. Seeing if it would spread through the boy's body, whether or not it would take the same kind of effect that the regular animal essences that he's used so far would. It later goes on to detail, towards the end of the page, how he only has enough essence for a single serum, and how the results are thus unknown since he hasn't tested anything yet. And the detailing of it, like he has a diagram of the serum itself, like a drawing of the serum within the syringe, and it looks like the one that was in the lab that you guys had left. And then after that, on the next page, there is results, colon, and then question mark, question mark, question mark.
Well, I have to say, from my professional point of view, this doctor did not leave very good notes.
Wow, this is gonna suck.
We may need to try to just hurry back to Shayla's and see what Faith can do.
Wow. Or somebody. Faith isn't there right now.
She would be my best bet at this point.
Is hair covering my whole body? Like, I know it's not thick, but can I like find pieces of it everywhere?
Yes, but it's kind of like how, like prepubescent teens have like little peach fuzz that's kind of like in like various levels of length all over their body, that kind of thing. Like
okay, so it's not like
it looks
in
like
one
you've
spot.
hit dragon fur puberty.
I feel like
Dragon fur beardy.
I feel like I'm a potion ingredient now. Fur from a dragon.
We're going to need fur from a dragon to make this potion. It's going to be very potent.
Sir, but sir, that dragons don't have fur. That's why it's very rare.
Very rare indeed.
Let's find the elusive furry dragon.
That must be the most unappealing thing I've ever heard. Right, so you spend 8 hours gaining that information. It is now dawn.
Sweet. Let's go walking.
Okay. You guys are making your way south to the Ember Scar Grove, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or are we going straight to Shayla's?
Well, Amberscar Grove is still straight to Shayla's.
Yeah.
You walk for about...
Wait.
Yes?
When we went through Ostermare, do I remember there, like, being a temple or anything to, like, any of the gods that might have a cleric there who might know how to cure diseases?
Make a history check with disadvantage. Because you were not really paying attention for those things.
10.
Offhand, you don't recall specifically seeing anything. It's possible, but you don't remember seeing anything.
Okay, never mind then. I won't even bring it up.
Okay, you guys spend 8 hours or so traveling south, making your way towards the very visible line of dead trees that marks the Ember Scar Grove. As you make your way inside, the air becomes very stifling. It's definitely warmer here. The ground very dry. Each step you take sends up a small puff of dry ash and soot. The ground itself seems barren of life. The trees, nothing more than dead husks of charcoal suspended in place, it seems like dead claws reaching out of the ground towards the sky. All around you, it's red and brown and orange. It's barren. Welcome to the Ember Scar Grove. What would you guys like to do?
What was our task here?
We didn't really have one. It was mostly just investigated.
Oh, okay.
It was Dalus basically saying, after Eli showing him the emblem that he had found in the Ember Scar Grove, that perhaps there could have been foul play in the wildfires that took the Ember Scar Grove a few years ago. And he wanted you guys to basically just check it out.
Right. I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is to just act like we're heading to Chez Liz, but I mean, because this place seems barren and empty, so it's just like we're just kind of passing through it. If we see something, we do something about it, but otherwise, not really sure what or where to look for.
You are on day 7 now.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's up? What you doing?
I mean, I feel like we're still heading to Chez Liz.
Yep.
But
keep an eye out on the way.
Okay.
Right.
Make perception checks.
That is for Bartimus.
Okay.
And this one is for me. Oh, hey. Yeah, I did better than Bartimus.
Why do you have perception?
Actually, yeah, that's not supposed to...
It didn't matter.
Oh, it didn't matter, yeah.
Still.
Yep. Okay. Bartimus and Eli at the same time, actually. The two of you looking around, Ilo and Zai, just as you guys are walking, you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. It's very, very monotonous, this area. Just a lot of dead, a lot of burnt, a lot of singed. A lot of warm colors just all around you. It's kind of hard for you to focus on any one thing. However, Eli and Bartimus, as you guys are trailing along at the back of the group, out of the corner of your eye, you see that there is what looks like the dead husk of a tree However, this tree seems kind of out of place. It seems a lot wider in girth and a lot taller. And by a lot, when I say a lot taller, not like this thing is fucking towering, but it looks bigger and older than the trees around it. And you notice that it, while burned, it looks to be how do I explain it? It looks more stable. Like, it doesn't look like these other trees where if you went and gave it a good kick, it would turn into a pile of ash.
Gentlemen, come here. Let's look at this. This tree over here just stands out from the rest. It doesn't. Something's off about it. And Eli will make his way to the tree.
Are you guys following?
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As you approach, looking around at the tree, you notice that there's a hollow inside of it on the side opposite of where you were first looking. The hollow is kind of small. It looks like Ilo could probably fit in there, though. The rest of you guys, though, it'd be pretty hard. You'd get maybe your head and part of your shoulders in before you get stuck.
I want to knock on the tree, see if it sounds hollow or something.
You knock on it. It sounds like it's kind of hollow inside. And you notice like a bit of ash kind of just and fall off as you knock on it.
Sounds hollow in there.
Ilo, why don't you take a look inside? You're really the only one small enough to do so.
Is it scary? Alright. I go in the tree.
Okay. You go inside the tree, and thanks to your dark vision, you're actually able to see inside. Inside of the tree, you find something very peculiar. Engraved into the inside of this hollowed-out tree, you notice there appears to be it's like an emblem or a sign like etched into the wood, which seems a bit more well-preserved on the inside than the outside. It appears to be a single flame on a black background. Opposite of that sigil, so looking at it in front of you, you can see the sigil. Turning around and looking behind you, you see that there's actually what appears to be a stone tablet that has been placed up into the wood. Like, it seems like it's been, like, kind of hammered in to stay up. And there is writing on it.
I explain to them the symbol in the tablet, and I'm going to try to remove the tablet to get it out of the tree so that someone can fucking read it.
Easy enough. I mean, you can read. Oh, yeah, you can't read.
No, I cannot read.
You pull the tablet off easy enough. It comes off without a problem.
Okay. I hand it outside of the thing and make sure that I'm not missing anything inside the tree before I hop out.
Make a investigation.
Nat 20.
That will do it, just because that is actually the DC. Looking around, and you being the kobold that you are, you kind of just, like, idly scratch away at the dirt and the ash under your feet as you're looking around. And whenever the claws on your toes hit something hard, and you look down and start scratching at the dirt and ash away, and you find what appears to be a burnt out and long since used torch that seems to have been abandoned.
Okay.
Eli, since I'm assuming that you're the one who would have grabbed whatever Ilo handed out.
Yeah, I thought the torch too.
And handing out the torch. Eli, you look at this tablet, and you also recall the emblem that was described, as it's the very same one that was described on the sigil you had shown to Dalis.
Right.
On the tablet, it says, From death comes life, and from life comes death. Fire creates all, and fire destroys all. From the ashes we are reborn.
And this was like the church that like was worshiping the fire god or something?
Correct.
Yeah, it's the philosophy of the god of fire.
Right.
Which I should know about. Does this phrase sound very familiar to me?
It does, because it is in fact something that you have heard time and time again from your, fellow citizens of the Dwarven Kingdom.
Yeah.
Make a religion check with advantage, Zai.
Fucking dwarves.
That's a funny thing to call dwarves.
Religion. 17.
The philosophy lines up with them. The concept of what they do makes sense. However, you're also aware that you recall Daedalus saying that there was no sanctioned burning to be done.
Yep.
And very specifically, the paladins that serve in the Order of Fire as, like, the enforcers of the God of Fire's will, they very heavily attempt to ensure that life is not destroyed before its time, or is created when it is not proper. They are always the ones that are often there trying to fight against wildfires that are not sanctioned, and they also fight very heavily against things like necromancers, because they view that as a abomination of life and creation and destruction. It's taking something that's already been destroyed and essentially bringing it back into creation, as opposed to letting new life bloom from it.
Right. Yeah, so this looks exactly like something that fire people would write and do. If it's not sanctioned, then there's no way that they have anything to do with it.
Possibly it's a defunct section, cult
What
of
about
some
this
sort.
torch? Why was this in the tree?
That's a good question.
Does it just look like a normal torch?
I hand it to someone with better investigation skills than I have to look at that.
Go ahead, make investigations, guys.
11.
Anybody using dice?
No, not me.
Neil, who has the most dice, is not using any dice.
I have
I rolled a
dice.
4.
I know, I'm fucking with you. Which one are you using?
D8.
D8.
It's not going to do anything. It just ties me with Eli.
Alright. Yeah, so Eli and Zai, as you are looking at the torch, it definitely looks like it was used. All of the material at the end that would be used to maintain the flame and keep it there has long since burnt away. Looking at it and looking at the area around this large tree that you find yourselves at, it becomes apparent to you that the fire started here. You notice that this seems to be the focal point where the fire originated and then spread out further.
Huh. We might want to bring this back to Shayla's with us.
Okay.
Bork, bork.
Oh my god, I fucking hate those dogs out there. That's my dog barking, but it's these fucking people down the street that let their damn dogs walk the neighborhood at night. And it makes the entire, like, all the dogs in the neighborhood go crazy. It drives me crazy. Anyways.
I guess we'll take these things and then continue heading back to Shayla's.
All right. If I'm not mistaken on my time scale here, you guys actually would need to rest first, or you would have exhaustion.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we have like a very small amount of time left to walk.
Yeah, because you guys basically rested at the hills into the early morning. Into the midday, then rested and met Chuck and Bubba, which went until late at night. And then from late at night until early morning, you guys were reading.
Yep.
And then it took another 8-ish hours for you guys to get here.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So a day has passed. I need to keep track of this in my DM sheet because you guys are on a time frame.
2 different time frames, actually.
2 different time frames. Really? What's the second one, I wonder? So you're on day 8. Okay. Yeah, so you guys walk for another hour or so that you've got left. Met Chuck before night, then stayed into early morning, so it's about... Okay, so it's like 5 p.m. right now.
Yeah.
You guys just making camp?
Yeah, can't really do anything else.
Alright. For the sake of brevity, since we're getting pretty close to the end of the stream, the night goes by uneventful. You guys set up your watches, and you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary.
Do I get more hair?
We'll get to that. You guys take your watches, and nothing seems to occur. You occasionally have, like you occasionally are startled by the sound of what sounds like the cracking of a limb of a tree as it falls off and turns into a pile of ash as it hits the ground. Beyond that, though, nothing really out of the ordinary for you guys. Zai, in the morning, you wake up and immediately look to your body like, oh god. And the fur hasn't really spread or gotten any thicker.
Weird.
Ilo and Eli, you guys wake up and just kind of look around, get yourselves together, get your shit together to pack up. And you look over at Zai, and you notice that his teeth look really weird in that before, when his lips were closed, you didn't see them. Now there are these 2 really nice big ones that are kind of just sticking out of his mouth.
Have canines.
Oh boy.
They're about like 1.5 inches in length that are just kind of sticking out.
Do I have a bite attack now?
We'll talk after the stream.
Oh god. I want to murder the 2 of you at some point. Don't worry about it.
No, you won't. Don't worry about it.
Neil, you don't know me at all, then.
Zai, you got a little... Zai, your teeth are getting bigger.
I'm going to feel around my teeth with my tongue and then noticing these giant things use my hands.
You find that you have 2 very large, you already have pretty sharp teeth being a dragonborn. These 2 are much larger, and also, as opposed to be like ridges like this where it's like a flat surface tooth, these are round and just long.
Canine opposed to a shark tooth.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And I'm gonna end it on this. Zai, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah! 14.
We'll find out what that 14 does next time.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna murder you.
Right. Well, let's go around, find out where we can find everybody and what their favorite part of tonight's session was. Starting again in the same order as always, Kyle.
You can find me on Twitter at RageQuitKyle. My favorite part, it's probably gonna have to be this crazy were-tiger shit. Although I did like the bright steel stuff, that was cool.
You have no idea.
It's a shame you're not gonna have anyone to forge that for you.
I know.
Tiger.
Oh boy.
I mean, that's assuming that you're actually a were-tiger. Who knows what you could be?
You're right. I'm turning into a part Rakshasha.
Rakshasha?
Turning into a tiger with backwards hands.
Yep. Alright. Neil.
You can find me on Twitter at Bardic Martin. I like making rabbit shish kebabs.
Rabbit shish kebabs. That actually sounds really fucking delicious, I'm not gonna lie.
It does.
No,
In the next...
except,
Huh?
yeah, doesn't
What?
sound super great for me.
No?
No,
What is that?
because it's a mammal,
Yeah?
I'll make
Which-
tiger kebabs next
which
episode.
means I can't eat it.
Oh, yeah, you can't have red meats. I forgot about that. That sucks. In the next episode, Zai and Ilo eat Eli. Zai started on Eli and Ilo just joined in.
Yeah. Oh my
Aw.
god.
I'm like you. Don't eat me.
I've never had elf before.
I wonder if it tastes like dwarf.
Oh, God. Alright, and
Oh man.
Onyx.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at OnyxQWE. And I had two favorite parts. One of them I also hate. And that would be turning into whatever I'm turning into. We're going to call it a were-tiger until proven otherwise.
Sure.
And then I really liked getting a letter from Master Ribblade. That was cool.
Yeah. Backstory.
Yay!
Don't worry, I have something planned for all you guys. Even
Hope-
you, Neil.
Mhm.
Even you.
Pirates attack the town we're in, and it's your pirates.
My fans.
This episode was just fun to... Cat! There's a cat.
O'Malley.
Meow.
O'Malley.
Oh. It was just fun. I think... Alright, sorry. You can find me on Twitter at arch_DND. If I do the command here in chat where I go !Twitter. Hey, look at that. It did a thing. And hey, you guys can find us doing this every Sunday night at midnight EST where we play this Aranthea's Awakening, which is a command for that. Where I do !AA. Hey, look at that. It did a thing. Wow. That one Undead actually made, which is pretty cool. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter at arch_DND. You can also find me running the Lucky Die Podcast Twitter, which is at TLDpod. If you haven't listened to Lucky Die Podcast, go listen to it. My favorite, God, there were so many parts. God, I liked being able to play Marpash, I will tell you that much.
Yeah.
Marpash is a very interesting character for me to be playing.
I'm not sure you caught how Ilo told him that kobolds don't taste very great.
Oh no, I caught that.
He was like, hit or miss.
He chose to skip over that. I love being able to introduce Marpash to you guys because I'd been planning that for a bit and I was like, man, this is gonna be so cool. However, I did like when Marpash was like, you're a Silvermane. It has been some time.
Ugh.
And Kyle, your face.
Yeah.
Like, your face when I said that was like, just Feed me as a DM.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Even the cat's like, what?
Yeah. There was a brief, half a second where, the name, it was like, okay, whatever the fucking name he just said. Wait a second.
Hey, wait a minute.
Wait, that's my name.
I did AA just before the hour. I did. That's weird. I love the development of the supposed were-tiger that's going on. Because I find it, every time when people think lycanthropy, that's it's a human turning into a thing. It's never, it's a fucking dragonborn turning, how does that work? It's fur on scales.
Imagine if it was a were-lizard.
Then you would just look the same.
No one ever knows about the murder everybody.
The only difference would be that if you cut your tail off, it would maybe grow back.
The first time.
The first time.
Do it a second time.
Right.
What would have been great is if this were happening to Ilo and he was just the small one.
Oh my god.
He's not a were-tiger. He's a were-cub.
At all.
Were-cub. Or no, tiger...
He turns into a were-tiger, but he's so small you can just pick him up and tell him to stop.
You pick him up by the scruff, he's like a little kid, just like...
Bad kitty, bad.
He can't do shit because you're just grabbing him by the back of the neck.
Yeah.
He's just flailing about in the air. Oh no, because when you grab him by the back of the neck, they kind of just go limp.
Yeah.
You just pick him up and he freezes. Holy shit, that's hilarious. Alright, on that funny as fuck note, we're gonna end tonight's stream. Thank you everybody for watching. Yep.
The watching.
Thank you everybody for watching. Undead, thank you for
the new
moderating.
M. Night Shyamalan film.
The watching.
The watching.
Our goblin artificer got bit by a werewolf.
Ideas.
But he got a 22 in his con save. We all kind of wanted a werewolf goblin mascot. That would be insane. And by that I mean he would probably kill you. You did.
+2.
+2 from your inspiration dice, so you got a 12. Eli, you beat the DC by 1.
Which means I failed it by 1.
You did.
Didn't I use a stream dice to do that?
I think you did. Because otherwise you would have failed, and there would have been 2 were-tigers in the party.
Yeah. And the pussycats.
God damn it, Neil. Alright, we're ending. Thank you. We love you. Goodbye. Farewell. Ad Vitasane. And